If you want to know the best leveling progression guide, you are in the right place. I've spent hundreds of hours hunting and optimizing the best spots in the game, all the way from the earliest to the late game progress, which many of you loved and supported. It is time for me to give you the best definitive leveling progression guide from start to finish to ultimately saves you the guesswork and saves you a lot of time. Let's dive right in by learning the progression mechanics first. We are not going to detail every build that I'm using in every spots on this list, since technically every build should work, but I will just be requiring you to make use of your temperance as it greatly increases your damage per second. You will be using the bone flame needle in the early to mid game progress a lot, so it is up to you if you will change it later on. I will be suggesting general methods or strategies when doing certain spots with a longsword, so adjust according to your weapon type. It is mandatory that you are always at 90% managed threshold so you can have access to more damage multipliers, making your runs faster, while also giving you more red mercury drops in the process. I will also be suggesting advisable character levels. For example, a certain spot has a level recommendation of level 1 to 20, so you can stay there until you reach level 20. However, depending on your skill level, you can head past the advisable level threshold for each spot and over level. Lastly, as you progress in the game, make it a habit to use the invoke feature to max out your madness and exchange as many feathered pearls as you can, since this item allows you to fast travel to the last shrine you visited without losing red mercury. So save all of the feathered pearls as you can and use them in bulk in endgame spots later on for better red mercury gains per use. Starting with the early game progression, which is level 1 to 20, and the first best spot you can access is the Shoe Sanctum Gremlin spot. By the time you can access this spot, your weapon mastery level ranges from +1 to +3. There are other much earlier spots that you can access before this spot, and I covered them in my earliest farming spot video. So if you want to grind much earlier than this, check the video in the description or by clicking the card here. However, what I suggest is progressing in the early levels normally without grinding, and then only start grinding in this Shoe Sanctum Gremlin spot. So you will be getting much more ideal XP per hour rather than spending your limited time on the prior spots before it. The Shoe Sanctum Gremlin method is the best spot before Cloudspire and the best farming grounds before fighting the challenging boss of Chapter 1. For this method to work, you need to unlock a specific shortcut, so I suggest watching my earliest spots video to know how to unlock it, since I'm not going to show it in here in the video to save time. So heading straight to the actual method. You will not miss the actual starting shrine from this method because it is part of the main story. Starting the actual method from the Shoe Sanctum Shrine, start the run by accessing the nearest exit, passing the merchant Wuchang. You'll be greeted with 2 soldiers fighting on the streets, and you'll be taking them out for additional gains. And here, access the shortcut that you need to unlock first. Navigate the village proper, and once you pass the first stone staircase, and head to the right and follow the straightforward pathway in here. Not for long, you'll be seeing the actual targets located at the end of the alleyway before you approach it. Temper your weapon with fire and start taking out the non-reddish gremlin first. The kill strategy is pretty straightforward. Just take out every target with 2 light attacks, then use either the weapon skill or the discipline of the weapon, and these are enough to kill all of the targets in here. There are 4 total targets in here, 1 normal gremlin and 3 reddish gremlins. Once all of the targets are dead, head back to the shrine to reset the run, rinse and repeat. With a straight farming method, each run lasts around 1 minute and 15 seconds with reset loading times included, and gives you 2400 red mercury per run. Do this consistently for an hour and we are looking at a whopping 115k worth of red mercury gains per hour, and that is a lot for a super early spot that you can access. The additional gains from the red mercury roots that all of the enemies here can drop, which adds 100 red mercury per use, piles up as well. So expect at least 120k plus of red mercury per hour on average. After you defeated the final boss in Worship Rise in Chapter 1, your next intended destination is Cloudspire, which is Chapter 2. You do have an option to head straight to Mount Zenwu, but it is clearly Chapter 3 and you will notice a significant difficulty spike in Mount Zenwu. As for Chapter 2, the Mort Grotto Mining Road spot is by far the unbeatable best farming spots of the early game, which can be accessed as soon as you reach Cloudspire outskirts. This spot will allow you to grind feathered miners and a feathered tree positioned in an ideal farming route near a shrine. But finding the Mort Grotto Shrine, which is the starting shrine for this spot, is a bit tricky. So I suggest watching this video instead so you know where to find the actual key shrine for this run, and also learn other interesting spots that you can access prior to the Mort Grotto spot. At this point, you have around level 25 to 30 with a weapon mastery level between +2 and +3. You can grind in this spot until level 35 or 40 before moving to the next one. From the Mort Grotto Shrine, head to the nearest caved entrance to access the mining spot. Kill the first miner in here with 2 swings and move on. Then kill the next 2 feathered enemies, hitting the first one and dodging the second enemy's charge attack when it explodes. Temper your weapon with flames and hit the sleeping tree carefully with 1 light attack and dodge away. So by the time it emerges, you'll be safe from getting knocked back. Hit it with 3 light attacks and a crescent moon skill combo or the weapon skill that you have to easily take the target out. Kill the nearest miner with 2 swings and do the same on the other one. The last target in this run is the coffin undead, and once it's dead, head back to the shrine to reset the run, rinse and repeat. Each run lasts around 1 minute and 15 seconds and gives you an insane 3,800 red mercury per run while having the chance to get mercury shoots and buddings. Do this consistently for an hour and we are looking at a mind-blowing 183k plus of red mercury per hour, and that is a lot for early progress. If you count the red mercury drops, you are expecting more than 190k from this spot alone. Let's say you completed Cloudspire and defeated the final boss in that area. You are now properly entering mid-game and the Avian Marsh route is the best earliest spot to grind when you arrive at Mount Zenwu. At this point, you are already level 35 to level 40 with a weapon mastery of +3 to +4. You can farm in this spot and hit level 50 before you move on. The Avian Marsh route will allow the player to hunt aquatic feathered type enemies positioned on an ideal route near the key shrine. You can find this spot near the Avian Marsh shrine and you cannot miss the shrine while progressing in the area, so no need to locate it. Quick heads up, my character in this spot footage is pretty advanced since I lost my recording. But what's important is that you learning the actual route. But my strategy in this spot clearly matches a level 35 character, so pay attention to that. Starting the actual method and from the key shrine, temper your weapon with fire and take out the first 3 feathered enemies that are in line from your location. They can easily be taken out by 2 to 3 light attacks. And once the third enemy here is dead, do a sharp right turn and notice 2 small clamshells that you need to take out. Then another enemy will appear near your spot. After taking this enemy out, do a sharp right turn and follow the straightforward path in here. Ignore the small clamshell for now and take out the next clamshell on your pathway ahead. And notice that a big clamshell is hiding in front of you. Carefully hit it with a light attack and dodge backwards and force it to come out. Usually it takes around 2 light attacks and a weapon skill combo to bring this big clamshell down. Once the first big clamshell is dead, backtrack to the small clamshell that we skipped a while ago and check it out. Then head into the direction where the shrine is, but this time, hug the right side of the river. Then you will eventually see another 2 small clamshell enemies. Take them out as usual and repeat the same strategy and take out another big clamshell near your current location for huge red mercury gains. After taking out the big clamshell, take the steep slope next to you to find 2 feathered dogs for additional gains. Once the targets are dead, head back to the shrine to reset the run, rinse and repeat. Each run usually takes around 1 minute and 27 seconds with reset loading times included and gives you an average for almost 10k worth of red mercury per run when counting 800 average gains from the mercury item drop. We do have different kinds of mercury items dropping in here, starting from budding to crystallize, so if you do this consistently for an hour, we are looking at a whopping average of more than 400k worth of red mercury gains per hour. Let's say you've already reached level 50 and decided to move on. It is time to properly end mid-game with a Zenwu Temple Antechamber spot, a spot that will allow you to crush already distracted feathered and human type enemies in an ongoing brawl. Since you progress in Avian Marsh, maybe you are way past the level 50 recommendation and have at least +4 to +7 weapon mastery level. You can use this spot and reach level 75 easily, and depending on your skill level, you can grind for more. We are not going to pinpoint the Zenwu Antechamber Shrine since you will naturally unlock the shortcut by just progressing in Zenwu Temple. And as always, if you want to know more mid-game spots other than these 2, you can always check my mid-game farming spots in the description or by clicking the card here. Starting from the actual shrine, exit the antechamber from the unlock shortcut and do a sharp right turn. After the temple arc, you will already see our key targets in this method who are busy killing each other. Start the killing by pulling off a normal attack on the feathered enemy having its dinner. Charge your blade with fire, and what I usually do is target the crow monster first and hit it with 2 light attacks. Then hit both the human and crow monster with a crescent moon skill or any weapon skill you have. Then finish them both with 2 light attacks. Once the first set of target is dead, head to the next one. And what you can do here is you can pull off a charge attack to stagger any of the targets here and finish it with an obliterate attack. And finish the remaining enemy with light attack combos. Then take out the sleeping 2 feathered enemies in here for additional gains as well. Then take out the last feathered enemies who's coming at you from the shrine's location, and that's all of them. Once all of the targets are dead, head back to the shrine to reset the run, rinse and repeat. Each run usually takes around 1 minute and 12 seconds with reset loading times included, and gives you almost 8400 worth of raw red mercury per run, while giving you an average of a whopping 1600 gains from mercury item drops. Since this spot has a crazy good drop rate, expect more than 10k worth of red mercury per run. And if you do this method for an hour, we are expecting a mind-blowing 510k red mercury gains per hour. Let's say you followed my level 75 threshold recommendation and progressed and completed Mount Zhenwu. You will officially start your endgame progress by accessing Chapter 4, which takes place in Worship Rise Ruins. The Ruined Reverend Temple Brawl spot is the best spot to grind at the start of endgame. This spot will allow you to farm fighting feathered enemies and human-type enemies outside of Reverend Temple. This could be the best spots in the entire game if you don't want to fight large enemies. You will be fighting a lot of enemies in here, which can give you a lot of red mercury item drops, while giving you an absurd raw red mercury gains per run. Grind in this spot until your character level is around 75 to 85, but of course, you can grind for more depending on your skill level. Your weapon master level expected range is around +6 to +7. We will be starting the actual method from the Reverend Temple Shrine, which is unmissable by just proceeding in the story. Start your actual method by following the stone staircase, then temper your weapon and start taking out the smaller feather type enemies in here with light attacks. Then take out the first brawling set of enemies with 2 light attacks and then pull off a weapon skill. If you have remaining skyborne charges, use it in the next group of enemies, then finish all targets with light attacks. Head to the next group from your location and start taking out the crow soldiers first, then the 2 feathered enemies with weapon skills if you have the charges, and if not, just do the usual 2 light attack and weapon skill combo. Then take out the human enemy first in the last group with our usual combo. Then do the same for the last crow enemy before heading back to the shrine to reset the run, rinse and repeat. This method usually takes around 1 minute and 5 seconds with reset loading times included. It gives you a whopping 24k worth of red mercury per run, while giving you an insane 3k worth of item drop average gains per run, giving you a total of 27k worth of red mercury per attempt. Do this consistently for an hour and we are looking at more than 1.5 million red mercury gains per hour. If you don't like fighting huge enemies, this simply can be your top 1 spot in the entire game. All of the endgame spots that you are seeing here are obviously the best ones, but if you are looking for alternative spots at endgame, I've linked my endgame farming video in the description or by clicking the card here. And also if you are interested, you can also use the video to learn the exact build that I'm using in here. So you level up your character to level 85 as suggested and explored Worship Rise Ruins and completed it. You are now entering the last chapter in the game, which is Chapter 5 and takes place in Bo Capital. If you want to save a lot of time, you will head straight to the best of the best spots in the entire game, which is the Forbidden Land spot. This method will allow you to hunt a giant fiend that will start in a kneeling position, and it takes forever for this enemy to be in a fighting position, giving you the chance to burst it down quickly. Plus, it also drops a whopping 24k red mercury per run. Access this method by activating the Forbidden Land Shrine is located just before the final battle's location. As previously mentioned, your character level is now 85 or way more than that, and your expected mastery level range is around +7 to +10. You're always welcome to check my endgame farming video in the description if you are interested in the earliest spots to grind at endgame, since this place or the whole chapter 5 is a huge ass of an area. The method is pretty straightforward, which is a huge plus. Where you start from the actual shrine, approach the giant fiend by heading to its direction, and temper your weapon so we can nuke this enemy out. As a longsword user, what I usually do is position myself at the back of the fiend and pull off 8 light attacks that will damage the enemy big time, then dodge whatever attack that the enemy will pull off. Then I will pull off 2 straight weapon skills to finish the fight. Once the enemy is dead, use a feathered pearl to reset the run, rinse and repeat. And yes, this is the time that you can use your feathered pearls like there's no tomorrow, since each use can give you tons of red mercury in return. So don't be afraid of using it. Using feathered pearls, each run lasts around lightning fast, 35 seconds, and gives you a total of 25k worth of red mercury per run, counting the lowest average gains that you can get from mercury item drop rate. Do this consistently for an hour and we are looking at a mind-blowing 2.5 plus million of red mercury gains per hour. Truly the best spots in the entire game, and keep in mind that these results are calculated based on you getting at least 1 Blood of Wang Di per 10 attempts. You will be scoring way more than 2.5 million by just getting more Blood of Wang Dis, especially if your luck is over the roof. Even if you do this method straight without feathered pearls, you are still looking at an insane almost 1.9 million red mercury gains per hour. If you are aiming to reach the level 290 cap, you can easily go back in here since you are pretty much stronger by having a character level of 110 to 120 and also have a much optimized build. Then you can take out all of the giant fiends lurker in here, and this method will give you more than 4.3 million red mercury gains per hour, which is a lot. Grind heal till level 100 or way past that, even level 150, depending on your skill level of course. Then defeat the final boss in the game and enjoy the ending. But what if you just started the game and want to know the best tips to have a perfect start? Click on this video and I will catch you on the next one.